Are you thinking about buying the Logitech F710 wireless gamepad? Well, hold on, because what I'm about to share might surprise you. This popular controller promises a cable-free, immersive gaming experience with dual vibration motors and a tiny nano receiver that just plugs and forgets. But here's the twist. Despite its solid specs and decent Amazon rating of 4.2 stars, the Logitech F710 has some glaring flaws that could ruin your game time. In this full, honest review, I'll break down everything from connection issues to software quirks, and whether this gamepad is really worth the $39.99 price tag. So if you want to avoid buyer's remorse and get the real story behind the hype, stick around, because what the Logitech F710 claims isn't always what it delivers. Let's dive in. First off, let's talk about who this controller is actually for. If you're a casual PC gamer looking for a straightforward wireless gamepad with a familiar console layout, maybe to revisit old classics or try out some newer titles without getting tangled in wires, the F710 seems like a great fit on paper. It supports Windows XP through Windows 11 and boasts compatibility with a massive library of games, thanks to its broad game support and customizable profiler software. But if you're someone who demands flawless connectivity, zero input lag, and seamless software support, well, brace yourself. The truth is, this is where things start to get tricky. I was excited to test the F710 for its advertised low-latency wireless 2.4 GHz connection, but it ended up feeling more like a mix of "are we connected?" and "did I just lose signal again?" moments. Let me paint you a picture. Picture yourself in the heat of a firefight or a crucial race. You're relying on precise, jitter-free controls, and suddenly, your controller stutters for half a second or drops out momentarily. Not game over, but close enough to kill the vibe. That's exactly the unpredictable wireless performance many users, including myself, complained about. The nano receiver that's supposed to stay put in your USB port does its job, but the connection occasionally drops or experiences interference, especially if you're using a laptop with multiple USB devices plugged in. So much for fuss-free gaming, right? But wait, there's more. One of the reasons gamers gravitate towards Logitech is the reputation for solid build quality. The F710 feels good in hand with familiar console-like button layouts and those dual vibration motors that rumble strongly enough to pull you into explosions and crashes. However, the materials used are mostly plastic and not exactly premium grade. It does the job, but don't expect it to survive being tossed across the room during a rage quit. Also, the vibration motors, while fun, tend to drain batteries faster. Speaking of batteries, the F710 requires two AA batteries which aren't included. Between wireless quirks and battery life, you sometimes get an enhanced immersion with intermittent drops and dead batteries in the middle of your session. But what about software? The customizability with Logitech's profiler software allows you to map keyboard and mouse commands onto the controller, which is a neat feature if you want to use the F710 with non-gamepad supported games. However, setting it up feels like decoding ancient scrolls. The interface is not very beginner-friendly, and sometimes the software just refuses to recognize the controller or save your profiles properly. Imagine spending hours tweaking settings only to find your control scheme resets after a reboot. That's frustrating for any gamer, especially those who want plug-and-play simplicity. Now, here comes the first twist in this story. Despite the F710's faults, it has been surprisingly reliable for many users when functioning within its limits. If your gaming setup is simple, maybe a desktop PC with minimal wireless interference, and you don't mind fiddling with battery management and occasional software headaches, then this controller could still be a decent budget choice. Plus, Logitech's customer service is known to be helpful if you run into issues like hardware faults. But if you're looking for a professional-grade controller for competitive gaming or seamless Bluetooth connectivity, this isn't your champion. Before you start thinking this review is all doom and gloom, let me share a little story. I once handed this controller to my nephew who's an avid gamer but not tech-savvy. To his surprise, he took it in stride, loaded his favorite racing game, and actually enjoyed the wireless freedom and vibration feedback, with virtually zero complaints. Why? Because for casual and medium-intensity gaming, the hitches and bugs don't always break the experience, they just add a little character. So here's the question you should ask yourself. Are you after polished, professional-grade gamepads or good enough wireless convenience at an affordable price? That's the key to deciding if the Logitech F710 fits your style. Now onto the jokes because hey, we're gamers, and a little humor never hurts. Why did the joystick break up with the F710? Because it found the connection a little too unstable. Or how about this one? I told my friends I was testing the F710 controller's battery life. They said it must be a shocker. Speaking of shocks, the vibration motors are so strong. I warned my cat he might get whiplash during an explosion scene. And finally, why did the PC gamer bring the F710 to the party? Because he wanted to press all the right buttons and maybe crash the party too. All right, back to business. Let's talk pricing and value. At $39.99, the Logitech F710 sits in the budget to mid-range wireless controller category. It's certainly cheaper than some premium PC gamepads, which often go over $60 or $70. So if price is your main concern, this could seem like a steal. However, considering the wireless instability, occasional input lag, and cumbersome software setup, you do have to ask if cheap ends up costing you in gaming frustration. On the bright side, the controller's wide compatibility across Windows versions and support for a variety of games, both old and new, give you options for different gaming eras. One last thing worth noting is that wireless options in PC gaming continue to improve dramatically. Newer models from competitors offer Bluetooth connectivity with much smoother pairing processes and better battery life. Some even come with rechargeable batteries, making the F710's reliance on AA batteries feel a bit dated. However, none of those options come with Logitech's reputation for durability and ease-of-use layout, if you can get past the quirks. So, how do we wrap this up? The Logitech F710 is a mixed bag of pros and cons. It offers a reasonably good wireless gaming experience that's perfect for casual gamers seeking freedom from wires and the thrill of vibration feedback. But the connection is sometimes unreliable, the software isn't the friendliest, and battery life can be a pain. Yet, if you want a controller with wide game support, familiar controls, and a price that won't make you flinch, then this is worth considering as long as you're aware of the quirks. In conclusion, don't buy the Logitech F710 expecting flawless, professional-grade wireless gaming performance. Instead, buy it knowing it's a budget-friendly, good-enough controller that occasionally makes you question your life choices and maybe laugh it off. If you're into casual PC gaming and want to ditch cables without breaking the bank, it does deliver some value. If you decide the Logitech F710 sounds like your next gamepad, make sure to check the current best price on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Prices change fast, and you don't want to miss out on any deals. Thanks for watching Game On.